All right, let's bring in now our Sky News hosts, Liz Storer and Paul Murray.
Morning.
Favourite panel of the week.
God love you.
What about this story? We're going to get to the immigration scandal in a minute, Hamas savagery in a minute, but the ABC's report into its Voice to Parliament coverage found that it was dominated by yes voices and breached 4 editorial standards. It seems like we had more balance over here at Sky News than the ABC did.
That's even when they get to mark their own homework, Sharri. Don't forget, they have failed when they've marked their own homework.
So 51% of voices on the referendum were in favour, this review found, 23% opposed. Paul, that's clearly not balance in this debate.
Oh, there were so many unsure voices too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you could tell.
Unsure.
You could see there was a lot of undecideds.
They just kept you guessing the whole way. You were like, yeah, but where do they stand on
Yeah, I mean, when I turned on Q&A, obviously, undecided voter. When I turned on the 7:30 report, undecided voter. When I turned on the breakfast show, undecided voter, let alone Radio National. I mean, that was the home of the undecided voter.
How they present the facts and they want you to make up your own mind.
And I appreciate that from the media.
Absolutely, we're intelligent people.
That we come to trust. I don't want them to find passive-aggressive ways of making the same point over and over and over again on the taxpayer's dollar.
But how useless is this report, right? Because firstly, we know the government's not going to do anything about it. Like, how dare you be selling the message that we were selling ourselves for months on end, like literally waterboarding the public with vote yes. Yeah. So we know that the government's going to do absolutely nothing about it. I'd love to know how much was spent on it. All I want to know is, why didn't you ask me? Because we could have told you for free. Like, we didn't have to spend anything.
I feel like they now need to do a similar review on coverage of the Israel-Hamas war, because I can tell you the results would be much worse than the referendum.
Well, again, their fundamental issue is that they're going to turn around and say, well, you know, we have to tick boxes and our guests are 50-50. But if anyone sees shows like The Drum, there's no conservative liberals. There might be a liberal there, but of course, a far left liberal that's there. So inevitably, in this context, and what you're talking about with Louise Adler, there'll be, well, how many Jewish people have we had on versus how many Palestinian people? What type of which is the conversation?
Exactly. It's like the Walkleys giving the Book of the Year award to Anthony Lowenstein. They can say, oh, we gave it to a Jew, but it's a Jew who hates Israel, who wrote a book called The Palestine Laboratory.
Well, the horrible thing is that I've somewhat worked through many years ago the concept of the people who want to maintain control of the narrative being honest about the narrative. The people expecting them that despite the fact that they get to pretend that they're the 50-50 people and the umpires, they're really the participants in the game. So it is frustrating, it is aggravating. Supposedly, when you're taxpayer funded, there's supposed to be all these other rules. But my belief is that time after time, institution after institution, we have seen the failures of those institutions. When the UN has failed, then OK, next time they turn around and complain about something in Australia, dismiss. The next time people come out wanting to sort of talk about important feminist issues, but they've been silent on what's happened in and around the Middle East, then guess what? They get to be ignored. As disappointing as these moments are, they're incredibly freeing, aren't they, Liz? Because
the silence tells us everything.
You're not I'm out.
The silence tells us everything, but with these bodies, there seems to be no accountability. Whether you're talking about the UN or whether you're talking about the AVC, laughably, The Guardian came out today and told all their journos and the people who work for them, you've got to stop your opinion, like signing letters, this petition, etc. and so on. Like, we don't know where people who work for The Guardian
their headlines are undecided about BB.
On the war. Yeah, exactly.
25 of The Guardian's journalists, cartoonists, contributors we know have already signed the anti-Israel letters, so we know where they stand
Exactly.
now.
So this is nothing more than a virtue signal to be like, oh, come on, guys, remember journalism, we're totally bipartisan here. That ship has sailed, Guardian, and well, you know it. You're now just trying to grasp whatever semblance of legitimacy you have as a media outlet. It's long gone.
In between begging for donations.
Oh, exactly.